we're going live on a Thursday afternoon talking about metadata and consonants. Hello again, welcome to the live stream, for it is that time already on Thursday afternoon. Got a lot of exciting things in store as ever, so let's have a look at what we're going to do today. You should know the pattern by now. It is Task of the Week, Reporting Spotlight from our own correspondence, where we look at some exciting support tickets that have come in over the week and what's new. So without further ado, let's look at Task of the Week. Task of the Week is going to be one of those moments when you think, all I'll do is just simply go to Consonance and add the data to this latest work. And then you realise that, gosh, there's an awful lot of data. I wonder if there's a quicker way to do this task. And there's nothing that sends a sense of, oh gosh, well, there's my afternoon gone, than thinking about having to do the same thing perhaps 150 times. And contributors is one of those things. Sometimes if we have a work that has got, well, even 5, 10, 50 contributors, think anthologies, think some academic works where there's a couple of contributors per chapter and there might be 80 chapters. You really want to have a way to shortcut this long and arduous process. So let's dive in and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So here's a work, Cats of the World. It's got 2 contributors on it. But news just in, it's going to have many, many more, and I've created some fake contact information. These are all of the people who are going to be contributors to this particular work. It's deliberately tiny because you don't need to see the detail. What you do need to see is that there's, a large number of them, and this is not outlandish. This is I know that we're not doing from our own correspondence yet, but this is a real challenge that came in for one of our academic clients who does have 150 contributors plus on a work, and we need to be able to manage that effectively. So this is what we could do. We could go to the metadata page. We could click on contributors, contributions I should say. We could add a contributor. This is all fine. We could say, it's by a particular person, and then we can click to say who it is, and we can associate that contributor with one or more of the products on the work. And that is an absolutely normal way to add data if there's a sensible amount of data. But as I say, in this instance, there's a lot more. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our work on consonants. Great, that's done. Cats of the World is here. And then I'm going to grab the ID of this work. And one way to do that is to get the ID from the browser bar up there. So I'm going to go back to my data that is sitting in Excel. I'll make this a little bit larger now because why not? And we're going to see where this template has come from as well. But you're going to be getting your contributor data into this sort of format, and then the final column is going to contain this work ID. So this is the way that you're going to set things up so that Consonance knows which work you want to put this contributor against. I'm going to copy that and use my Excel skills to paste it into that final column there. Remember, this is not a Consonance thing, but remember in Excel, be super careful if you drag down, because Excel loves nothing more than to try and think it's cleverer than you and to increment those numbers. So we don't want that. And now we have got a goodly amount of information. So where did I get this spreadsheet from? Lovely question. Let us go to the import page in the import area in Consonance. I'm going to click on the menu. I don't think we've spent enough time yet looking at the menu, and perhaps we'll do a super focused look at that in one of these live streams. But for now, let's just be a little bit deliberate about how we're going to get to the import area. I'm going to click on the menu. I click with my mouse and the menu loads up, and you can see that the cursor at the top there is blinking away, and it is in the input field marked Find in Navigation. And if I type import, my options on this menu are now going to get whittled down, and I can see that imports is right there. And still preferring to use the keyboard wherever possible, if I now press tab, my focus is going to be on the imports line item there, link option. And then if I press enter, that's going to press that link as if I was clicking with the mouse. So, you know, I think it's, I mean, you know, we wrote the feature and I still find myself laboriously using the mouse and thinking, no, there are features that can save us from this. So perhaps in the coming weeks, spend some deliberate time getting your fingers retrained to use the more efficient way of navigating around the system. So here we are, we're on the import area, and now I'm going to find my contact importer. So I click new imports, import contacts, and I get the new contacts import page. Here is the spreadsheet, and so downloading that gets you the spreadsheet that we've been looking at. It's a matter of copying and pasting from whichever source you're then updating to get the data into a sensible format. Not all data is here. It's a question of providing a tool that will get you most of the way there most of the time. As ever, if you have any wishes or hopes or dreams for a slight extension to any of the functionality, absolutely get in touch. We can always tweak things. But for now, we have got a column that's called names before key names and a column that's called key names. And if you know your Onyx way of setting up contact data, you'll know that those are the ways that we say surname, I guess, is key name, and any name before that is names before key name. So we've got our fake data here. I've put in a first name and a last name. I've put in a qualification. I could add in a contact ID if this was updating existing information, that would be all right. I've added in citizen of and currently resides in. I've added in an imaginary in-house customer ID, an imaginary phone number, an imaginary email address, and an imaginary professional affiliation position. I've also added in my contributor role, which you look up, by the way. And if you want to see all of the information in detail about what to put in this spreadsheet, then our help documentation is the place to go. And work ID, as we did a moment ago. So that's our data there. There's the link to the documentation back in Consonance. Let's upload the spreadsheet and upload and validate. So this is going to create a draft import record, which is what we've got there. Consonance is going to queue that for processing. We want to make sure that any potentially long-running tasks are handled in the background. Otherwise you find yourself having to sit staring at a screen whilst a counter goes round and round waiting for the web process to finish, which we don't want because that slows down the system. So this is exactly the sort of job where, you know, we're uploading 150 records at this point, but it could be up to 1 million. It could be as many as Excel allows you to upload. So we definitely want this to be handled in the background. And so once we've given it a chance to upload, we see that we've got a validation problem. So this is a great sort of staging point in the process. Consonance is going to avoid there being any issues with adding data into the system that we know is problematic. So let's have a look to see what the problem is. We view import and we are told that the work ID is not found, which means I must have fat-fingered it. So let's go back and see what the issue was with me doing that. So we go and, oh look, it's 138,197. Well, I don't know how I managed to do that, but that is the nature of manual intervention into this, isn't it? So let me move my head out the way, check that I've added all that in, check that that goes there. I think what I might have done is not save the file, which is a bit foolish of me, but it saves me having to prove the point that we've got validations in the system, so that was quite handy. So how do we get back to the import area? We go to menu, type in import, press tab, press enter, there we are, and let's try again. Import contacts and upload the spreadsheet, and it's greyed out, so try again, upload the spreadsheet. It's good to have little twangles as we go, because this is really how I find uploading data goes. When I do my royalties for in real life using Consonance for Snowbooks, I will upload sales reports, and it's really reassuring to have these validation errors come back to me. You know, if say there was a record in the sales and it was a record that didn't yet exist in Consonance, then this importer, the sales version, is going to bounce you back and say, we don't know what that record is. You're going to have to do some more data upkeep. We don't know what this ISBN is. You've tried to add in a sale on the date of the 29th of February. That date doesn't exist. Please try again. So this is a really fruitful part of Consonance, and I've still managed to introduce 3 errors. Let's have a look to see what that might be. And these are all fine. This is all okay. Oh, there's an error. Ah, lovely. This was the one I wanted to do. The work has existing contributor with this key name. So we have a Martin Barnes here, and one of the existing contributors to this admittedly imaginary book, although maybe I should have written it, is Emma Barnes, c'est moi. So Consonance is saying, well, you may know what you're doing, this might be fine, but we're going to just be very careful and make sure that we're not going to let you add in data that we think you might want to have another look at. So this is a deliberate and hopefully helpful error that's come up so that we can see, check that our data is going to be okay. So the tab we're looking at there is the drafts, and most of them are fine. And we scrolled through there to see what that particular error was. We can also click on the errors tab here, which will whittle down this type of problem so that you can see the woods for the trees. And we've got 3 different Barneses there. So the solution for us is to search for Barnes and to change it on this occasion to something else, or to delete this line or something or other. We're not worried about introducing potentially additional work for you here if it means that most of the time we're going to help you catch problems. So this is going to be adding some slight extra admin, but the extra admin from having to get the wrong data back down off of the internet is arguably a lot worse. So I have saved my file this time, 3rd time's the charm. Let's go back to our, import, and go there. And a new import, we'll upload that, and we'll go to the file again, upload and validate, and I'm expecting that this time we will get green ticks all the way down. So as I say, this is running in the background, getting queued up, because we don't want these jobs to keep you hanging around. And sure enough, now we've got 150 contacts processed, and we can approve the import. So that is an entirely real life example of adding data into the system in this programmatic way and seeing the sorts of errors that might get introduced and the way that Consonance is going to keep bouncing you back until things are all good. So we'll approve the import and then we'll navigate to our cat work again, see the contributors appearing. Whilst I'm waiting for this to be in the queue and to be processed though, let's find our way back to the cat work. And there are a number of ways from any page in the system that we can do that. I can type into this box cats. I can't actually remember which cat version it was one of these. So probably a better approach for us to do here is to use the recently visited works. And if I click on this, my most recently visited cat book is Cats of the World, so I can click on that and find that. So we have been talking for the last few weeks about the reporting area, and that's the way to go when you need to interrogate data in a really structured way. But don't forget, there are these other ways of navigating around the system, finding the works that you need and jumping yourself straight to that particular area. So we found our way back to Cats of the World, and sure enough, in the contributors panel now, we can see there are many more than just the original 2 contributors. We've got all of these and they've been uploaded accordingly. Sure enough, if we go to the metadata page, we would see the same sort of thing. Here are all of the contributors, and at this point we can start to reorder them as well and potentially opt some of them in and out of the different products there. So that is how to upload this particular sort of data in bulk. I'm just racking my brains. I'm just thinking if there's anything else I want to mention about uploading contributors. I don't think so, but we will briefly go back and look at the imports area just to eyeball the different types of import that we've got. We've got importing contacts, importing prices, which is very useful when you could have 1 million prices that you wanted to update, and then importing products, importing royalties, and importing sales as well. Very useful, obviously, at royalties time. Importing royalties is very useful at the onboarding stage if you have many legacy contracts that you want to get in, including payee information. So that is our look at importing contributions to a particular work so that you don't have to do the same thing 150 times through the interface. So what have we got next on the list? Next on the list, we are going to go to our friend, the reporting area, and I want to spend a little bit of time looking at prices. We've just looked at the importing area, and that indeed has a price importer. Prices are one of the most important types of metadata within Consonance, and potentially one of the pieces of data that changes most frequently. So let's go in and let's have a look at the finding prices within Consonance. So I've gone to reporting and I've got this price report that I've got set up from earlier, and the price report here, I've got one condition on it, and the condition is that the price amount is equal to $12.95. And if you're in a hurry, you might think, yes, that's exactly what I want. I want show me all of the products where the price is $12.95 because I'm doing a promotion and that's the price point I need to hit. Well, let's have a look at the results that have come back from that. And I've chosen the products list display for this. So I've got my cats in space, cats of the world, cats throughout history, and this column here, this prices column, I mean, this is a kind of generic product list display that we're looking at, so it's got some other information as well. But on this particular display, it says that there are two prices on the Cats in Space hardback, $9.99 and $12.95. And of course, the $12.95 is US dollars. So if I'd actually been thinking, gosh, show me all of the prices, show me all of the products that have $12.95 in my home currency, which happens to be GBP, then I'm not getting the results that I set out to achieve. So this is really why I wanted to spend just a little bit of time today looking at using reporting for searching at prices, because there are other conditions available as well as price amount. So let's add one of those and see if it gets us closer to where we're trying to go. So let's type in prices here, and we've already selected price amount. Right there, you see we've got prices currency, and we can say, okay, for the currency include any of USD, and that should get us pretty much the same results, because we can see that these products here have got a USD price of $12.95. But if I was to say now, include any of GBP pound sterling, then I'm going to get no results, because my full search is the price is $12.95 and the currency is GBP pound sterling. So that's actually what I set out to get here. So when you're doing price searches, make sure that you've ticked off all of the aspects of that particular price that you're interested in sharing. Let's have another look at some other attributes that we've got that we can look at. So there's the price status, and that would be things such as unspecified, provisional, and firm. There are always weird and wonderful use cases for running reports within Consonance. So at some point you might want to find all of the provisional prices in a particular currency for reasons. Let's have a look at some others: price type and price qualifier, and then some dates and minimum order quantities as well. Let's have a look at what the options are under price type. These are Onyx values, and this is how your data goes out in Onyx to your recipients. Sometimes we have worked with you to make sure that the price that you're entering is the price that you want to be entering, and then we might change those prices under the hood according to your business rules. So if you want to add your prices to Consonance, including tax or excluding tax, and if you've let us know that, and if you tell us that you want that price transformed dynamically, we can absolutely do that. But in the more vanilla sense, we can say that, you know, we might want to have the RRP excluding tax, and let's say that the price is less than $12.95 since we're searching for GBP. So we're not getting any results there. So that makes me think that we want to be looking at including tax. So for this particular publisher, these prices are $12.95, and the type of the price type against these records is including tax. So it's all fairly dry until it's, you know, not, and then it's vitally important and desperately engaging, because you have your business case in mind and you want to make sure that you're talking about the right price that you're sending out to people, because there's money to be made and lost in getting your pricing wrong. So this is a useful way to look at the way to define the search conditions for prices. I want to also show you that there is a display, and it's actually going to display the prices individually. So as we know already, when we add a report into Consonance, we set up the conditions, and then we can display the results in a number of different ways. Here I'm displaying all of the products that satisfy these search conditions. Now I'm going to display the prices that satisfy these search conditions. So now we're looking at one price per row rather than one product per row. And here this price is the $9.99 GBP price, which is the RRP including tax, and it's the consumer price as opposed to the library or the special supplier price or something like that. So I can see all of these prices individually, and if I was minded to be doing a large price update, then I could copy this to the clipboard, maybe get this out into Excel, apply some percentage changes to the prices, if that's what I'm doing, and then re-import them using the price importer. But we can stop our inquiry here because I've shown you that we're looking at individual prices here, and that can be very useful. Let's have a look, just to finish off this piece on pricing, to see how this same information is displayed on the metadata page. And so we're going to go over to the metadata page for this particular work, and we're going to look at the pricing area. So sure enough, we know now that we've been looking at $9.99 and $12.95, but there is one product on this work that didn't come up in our results, and that's because we were searching for prices under $12.95, and it's this fellow here. It's the USD excluding tax price for the audio file on this work. And we've got these kind of ancillary tabs of information here. The price, and for this client, the home currency is GBP, but we're also adding in USD ex tax prices. Other clients will see Japanese yen and euro and Canadian and Australian dollar prices all along here. So if you want to see more prices, and if you want to provide more prices for your products than you currently have, absolutely get in touch. We configure your account to according to what sort of prices you want. But what I'm doing here for today is to show you what is going on with this rather terrifyingly large percentage difference to the GBP. So what Consonance has done is go away and look up the foreign exchange rate between GBP and USD. So I click on this red link and it's going to give me some information. And it says the USD consumer RRP price is $32.95. At the moment, 1 GBP is 1.2884 USD. That means that actually your USD price is out of kilter with the GBP price if you are intending to be effectively pricing at the same level except in different currencies. So, like the page says here, if you converted from your default currency consumer RRP, which is GBP 9.99, to USD using the current exchange rate, you would actually get USD 12.87. So, and you're pricing at 32.95, which is 256% more. And here's the calculation we've used in case you don't want to have to think about where these numbers have come from. So this is a very Consonance thing, because it's not stopping you from putting in 32.95. It could be a completely valid and rational business decision, but what we are doing is drawing your attention to it so that you can point your human brain at it and think, yes, that was what we wanted, or gosh, bears further investigation, wonder if we should have a look at that. So Consonance is not going to get in the way. It's not going to silently block your data. It's not going to stop it updating or anything, but it is worth noticing these informational data presentations that we have throughout the system to notice if there's something that could be improved or looked at or signed off. When the percentage is less out of whack, then the information is going to be still presented, but it's going to be readable as being more in line with what you'd expect. Lots more to say about pricing, I am sure, but I wanted to let you know that searching for pricing within the reporting area definitely benefits from including the currency as a minimum. And when you come to the metadata page and you look at pricing, just on this show version of the page, you get to see this information. Any other questions about pricing, definitely drop us a line. There's rich seams that can be mined of further information about it, including, as I mentioned, transforming your prices on the fly for particular recipients in order to hit their price points or to hit particular business rules. So definitely don't be a stranger. let us know what challenges you're facing with pricing. Right, what is next on our list? It's from our own correspondence, and we had a nice one this week. Well, nice one. We had a problem raised to us this week, which was a client said, one of our recipients has not received an update. Why have they not received an update? We've got all of the same data in Consonance as for them. The feed should have matched. What is the problem? And so we dived in and found an interesting situation. So the problem was that the other party's system, the recipient data, was using the title of the product as a primary key. So when I say the title of the product, I mean, if we go up to identity here, I mean the words cats in space with the spaces in that string there. That is the thing that this other system was taking from the consonants feed and saying, do we have one of these in our system? Aha, yes we do. Oh no, we don't. So that's a problem in itself, because a title with its spacing and capitalization is an odd piece of data to use in a database to make sure that you're talking about the same record. We normally expect to see integers being used, or UUIDs, or a piece of data that can be proven to be unique. I mean, an ISBN13 is also a terrible piece of data to match on. There is no guarantee that that's unique, but the actual string of the title is a step further that we were quite surprised to see. But this is the pragmatic world in which we live. So when we identified this problem, this is the approach that we took. I'm going to go back to reporting, because reporting is always a great place to start to find these problems. And it's funny because we use the reporting tools within Consonance just as much as you do to solve problems that you raise to us. So here is the report that we ran in order to understand what was going on. We ran this search, and we've chosen products title without prefix. So we're searching the data title without prefix for particular strings. And on a hunch, we've done this search. It's title without prefix, starts with the word the, because the title without prefix shouldn't contain a prefix. So we did and the. Thankfully, that one's all right. The, however, resulted in a hit. And so let's go to the metadata page for this particular product to see what might be going on. So off we go over to Cats in Space. And there's the first clue. We've gone to the metadata page. We're on the titles region. Normally, we don't expect to see the products override table within this region, because most of the time the title of the product is identical to the title of the work. And it's one of those pieces of data where we want you to be able to enter information once so that you don't have to waste time and duplicate effort. Normally you add in the work title and then the product or products inherits that. But here we've clearly got something a bit different, because the work title is the Cats in Space 2, but we're showing an override at the product level. So let's dive in. Let's click on this region, see what's going on. So there's the work title at the top. There's more information from the Onyx documentation about what that actually means. Scrolling down, we can see that look, there's one product and the title prefix has not been properly separated out. The title prefix, the word the, is within the input field called title without prefix. So if I cut that out of there and paste that in there and press save, then now we see the title region looking much more normal. We have one title for all of the products of this work. And just me talking like this for 2 minutes just makes me super thankful that we have got our data model right, and we don't refer to works as titles, which I see on the internet all the time. It drives me potty, because talking about a title's title and then trying to talk about a product, a book's title, you've got to get the words right. So when you see the word title in Consonance, we are talking about the distinctive title of the work or its products. You've got to be precise. So that's how we solved that particular interesting problem. We could then go back to the client and say, well, if your data recipient is using a particular string to find your records, and if that string is somehow not correct, then that's the problem right there. We were able to identify that there were a few works where there were products that included the title prefix in the wrong field. So if you want to replicate that exciting moment for yourself, then I would recommend going to reporting, starting a new report, and searching for products title without prefix, and then searching starts with, and maybe try and see what happens. And if anything comes up, and of course now it doesn't because we've solved the problem, then you will want to go and check that the data is what you think it is and revise it if it's not. So that was an exciting moment from our own correspondence this week. So what's coming up next? So this segment is called What's New, and I'm going to temporarily revise it for this week to be what shall be new, or what will be new, or some future conditional kind of what will be new if we finish the work on it. But I do want to share this very early peek at a feature that's coming up at some point in Consonance, because if you're planning on doing a piece of work in the next couple of weeks that is adjacent to this, I just wanted to make sure that you had seen that we're working on this aspect of the system, just in case it makes you think, okay, well, if they're doing this, I will get in touch, find out more information, or I will build that into my plans, because it's a powerful feature and it's going to help, I hope. So advanced information sheets are, or otherwise known as ABIs, advanced book information, otherwise known as tip sheets. This is a way of getting data out of Consonance into a PDF format. We're firmly into sales and marketing here. We are trying to create marketing materials that look beautiful, that represent well your metadata, that do a good job of creating a compelling sales argument for your works, forthcoming and otherwise. At the moment in Consonance, what you do is tell us all of your preferences, and we configure the advanced information sheet so that fonts and colours and sizes and layout is as close as we can get to what you hope it should be. This new feature that we're talking about is going to give you ever more control over that. So I'm going to show you the work in progress on that. As we've been going through the live stream today, every time I've changed pages, the page has flickered, and that's because this is my development machine. At the top here, maybe you can see it, it says localhost. We're not live on Consonance today. That's why the page has done its development load each time, so apologies for that. But it also speaks to the fact that the demo that I'm going to show you is not live yet. So unfortunately you can't go and look for this in your account this afternoon. It will be live over the coming weeks. Watch out for your notifications from us that come through on the notification bell up here, and they also come through on email. And at that point we'll be announcing it and you'll be able to go and have a good look for yourself. But here's your heads up. So here is an advanced information sheet template. If you were to go to your account at the moment, you pretty much just get this box at the top, which is what's the name of the template. But now you're going to get a preview on the right hand side of your advanced information sheet. You're also going to be able to specify what data appears in what order on the PDF. You're going to be able to upload a header and a footer of your own style and choice. It's going to, this is a placeholder image at the top and at the bottom here. You're going to be able to include content tiles, which are related products and reviews and so forth. And you're just going to have that much more control over laying out the advanced information sheets that you want to be able to use for all sorts of reasons. It's also going to mean that you can have multiple advanced information sheet templates for different activities. So hopefully this is going to be a really exciting feature that's going to put more control into your hands. So I won't show too much, just a few examples. We've got this left-hand column, and you can see I've got the in-house subject. Let's have a look. It hasn't got one. We've got the RRP, there it is, the pub date laid out like that. And what we've done is try to make the data as editable as possible, because we know how data needs to be presented on the page. So a great example is this RRP one here. Let's click to edit and see what this looks like. So a few options come up. This is actually called, this data element is called default price, but I'm able to override that and say our hot exciting RRP. So you can put information in according to however you want to frame it. And now you can see here that your words are replacing the default label on the element picker. Oh look, here's all of the, oh my word, here's all of the contributors that we added in. So that's exciting. So we can opt out of that. That's going to be great. So that's the right hand column. Let's see. Let's say, but we don't actually want that complete author list now. So I'll delete that. Refresh the page, and we're going to get back to something a little bit more tight. There we go, lovely. We're also going to be able to look at some of the spacing on the page. So see that Cats of the World here is quite large, and then we've got the selling points. Well, let's see if we can add a little bit of space, or quite a lot of space before that. So you're going to be able to, within reason, customize the look and the feel. There we go, there's our space. Customize the look and the feel of your advanced information sheets here. As I say, not live yet. We'll be live in short order, and we're absolutely in beta stage. So we will be soliciting feedback. We'll be asking for all sorts of information and help in defining the next step for this. If it goes well, we'll also be looking to roll this out to multi-page PDFs. So we're talking catalogues, multi-product PDFs, so we're talking flyers as well. I really feel like we're going to be able to unlock a lot of the potential of you having put all of your data into Consonance. Just before we leave this area, I'm going to show you that the reason why the title is big there, and the reason why Feline Press here is in bold, is because there's another feature, an ancillary feature that goes along with it, which is text styles. A bit of a mouthful. You're going to be able to add multiple different text styles and alter them accordingly, and we're going to present you with the accessibility readout for the choice of font size and colour and style that you've selected. So if you did perhaps inadvertently choose a very subtle yet faded out title that is not going to be readable by some of your readers, then we're going to flag that ratio is not good enough. So yes, so exciting stuff coming down the line. We'll be looking for feedback. As I say, sorry to sort of share an exciting feature and then say it's not live yet, but if you were planning on doing your sales materials in the next couple of weeks, I thought it was appropriate to share that this is coming fairly soon in case you wanted to factor that into your plans. Very happy and excited to get support tickets about this, so do shout if this is exciting or you want to know more at this very early stage. So that is what's coming up shortly, very early peak. And then another bonus power move, very exciting. Now last week we introduced this new segment of bonus power move, and the things that we're covering in this segment are the sorts of activities you might want to do in Consonance where your colleagues will think, how did they just do that? That was super awesome. So this week I am going to show you pasting ISBNs into a report, which sounds pedestrian on the surface, but it's pretty cool, I've got to say. So let's look on this page. What have we got? We need a work with some ISBNs, because what I'm going to do is copy a load of data off the page, and then we're going to use that to search within the reporting area. Now I can't immediately find any ISBNs, so let's go to reporting and get some. So let's have a look on our pricing report. No, let's get rid of these and say, okay, products ISBN present, and that will give us a list of products that have got ISBNs. Lovely. Now if I copy that to the clipboard, then go to Excel, for instance, let's create a new Excel file. I've pasted, and there's probably our ISBN in there somewhere. And oftentimes, we all get spreadsheets through and it's got an ISBN in, and this will shave off a little bit of time, but you might also get an email that's got some ISBNs scattered throughout it. Anyway, point is, I want to be able to paste any old thing into this box here, and I want to show you that Consonance is going to be able to snick out anything that it recognises as an ISBN. So products ISBN in list, and then we Command and V or Control V our stuff in there. So just scrolling up, you can see I've dumped in, yes, there's an ISBN 13 in there, but there's also a whole bunch of other stuff. And if I search for that, it's going to bring me back my ISBN list. So let's only select some stuff that's got that 1, 2, 3 in there, paste that in, a whole bunch of other stuff, including numbers, save and search, and Consonance is picking out the ISBN from all of that information. So let's just prove that point again. We're going to go to Cat Throughout History. We'll go to the Insights page, which has got the ISBN on it. And if we copy a whole bunch of stuff, imagine someone's just sent us that as in an email, or you're grabbing it from, I don't know, somebody else's website, and we go back to the reporting area. Oops, click star instead. And run a new report and say, okay, show me the products, ISBNs, I'm typing the wrong thing, ISBNs in the list, and it's somewhere in there, all of that stuff. And if I search for that, then magically it's picked out the information that it needs, and there's our search results. So that is this week's bonus power move, where you don't have to get a very careful, neat list of ISBNs, whether they're comma separated or whether they've got dashes in or spaces. I didn't really show you that because these are kind of intact, but anything that looks remotely like an ISBN, Consonance is going to find in this box. So that is a lovely thing to amaze and delight your colleagues with, or keep it to yourself so that you only have the keys to the bonus power move. It's got to be a benefit to turning up to these Thursday afternoons, hasn't there? Good Lord. Marvellous. Right. Well, that's it. We've gone a little bit longer than usual today. So thank you for staying with me. I say see you next week. I'm going to a conference next Thursday, very exciting times. So I will not be live. I'm going to endeavour to put up a video that's pre-recorded, and it's if I manage to get to it, then it's going to be the first episode of a new consonants course for 2025. If you've seen our channel on YouTube, then you know that there's already a consonants course which we recorded last year. The time has come to start painting the fourth bridge again. We're going to do the same course, but with all of the exciting new features that we've shipped since last year. So hopefully I'll get that done, and you'll see that same time on Thursday next week at 2 p.m. But it won't be live, and who knows, there might be fewer ums and ahs and I don't know, dynamic moving throughout the system. Or maybe I'll just leave all of that in and not edit it out. Time will tell. Excellent. Have a really lovely week in the meantime, or 2 weeks. I'll see you properly in real life in a fortnight. But until then, I shall see you